Morning traders, this is your Dow Jones Wall Street 30 day trade setup for today. So we got our downside move yesterday, a lot better than I was expecting in actual fact, but we are now at a situation where one of two things can happen. So just starting on the daily, I've got two levels drawn in here. So one is the swing low here, okay, and that is at 22,906, and then I have pretty much where we have turned this morning with 23,480. Okay, so one of two scenarios is happening here. So the first one is this is the head and shoulders forming. Okay, we're going to need to get below, well, actually below that level. We're going to have to get at least below there. Okay, so that 23,370 for that to materialize. Oscillators, moving averages, everything pretty much nowhere. Moving averages are flat, although they're in a bearish cross. Nothing really happening there. We also have a trend line here. Sorry, let me just get it there. Okay, so have we broken that trend line and coming up to test it? The only time will tell at the moment, and we'll get to that on lower time frames. But another one of the scenarios is that this is the start of a range. Okay, sorry, a channel, not a range, but it does make sense for a channel. We've had an aggressive move up, and now it's going to be a grind up to a level. There is this gap to the upside, which is a pretty strong magnet at the moment. And then we've got the 150 EMA here as well. Okay, so that's that scenario. Well, the two scenarios on the daily. So if we just tidy that up to there, we probably delete it. So let's just get this trend line in properly. Okay, so that's the one trend line. Then we have this trend line. Okay, so this is crunch time at the moment. So are we going to get back to this area, bounce down, which is possible, bounce down, form a double bottom, or alternatively reject this and attack more to the downside? Anything is possible. I don't really see a half decent trade at the moment. Just get down to the hour. So yesterday's view was I was waiting for a pullback. Pullbacks I was waiting for was a lot lower than what we went to, but it did happen eventually. So you can see there was a level here, and then obviously testing the previous high here was basically the level that was taken, and when we had the massive sell-off. Okay, so just looking at it like this, and if I take that diagonal trend line out, we are in a bigger range here. So here's bottom of range. Okay, there's top of range. So I suppose the only thing that's going to really interest me on this at the moment is a retest of a breakout level. Now, the closest breakout level is this one here, 23,986. And there's also a scenario over here, which we could get a breakout, a retest of 23,841. So I think for me on the Dow is just to wait for the structure to see what's going to transpire. These two areas here are interesting for me. So it's 23,986 and 23,841. Those are the two areas that are pretty interesting for me. This could be an exhaustion move to the downside. So we had a move down, we had a pullback, we had a second move down. Then we had a pullback and then a bigger move down. So you can see controlled uncontrolled. And also it's a sell-off going into the close. And right now we're sort of bouncing back to the upside. So I think this area is the one to watch at the moment. Oscillators have crossed over, pointing to the upside at the moment, just waiting for the stock MACD, and this is on the hour. So I'd want to see us group to the upside again before looking at a level to get in. So I think if you manage to get in on this long, definitely was an opportunity. But right now, I don't see another opportunity just yet. Okay, so what do we need to do? So the first thing to do is on your lower time frames, on the 15 minutes here, assuming that this is a range, that's the structure that we see. So I hope you can all see that. This whole thing here is a massive big range. Yes, there's head and shoulders and there's triangles and there's all sorts of things in here. The reality is we're in a slight bias to the upside. And I'm on the 4 hour now. So your 4 hour, your 8 hour, and your daily are all sort of in an upward trend at the moment. Okay, so you've got to keep that in mind. So what you're looking for now is to assume it's a range and trade the range until we break through. And I'd be as bold as to say 23,300. Once we get through 23,300, then there's still a little bit more resistance to downside, but that probably, I mean, not probably, that's a massive level. So between 23,300 and probably 23,160 and 23. So you can actually say 2,300. Until we get below 2,300, we are in a range. Okay. So you want to be trading the range. So what we're looking for now is the probability is moves to the upside. We've started off already. You can see we've got a low, lower low, higher low, and we've broken through this fractal. So for me at the moment, this is my first level. Let's just call it a micro level, 23,645. So what I'd like to see is price to come back on this level, hold it, give me the opportunity to buy with a stop below. And if I look to the left, there's nothing much to stop it. Okay, so in other words, price didn't do this kind of stuff with lots of fractals in this area to stop it. So the fact that we threw this area here is critical, but I want to see a retest, not now, but in the European Open. So worthwhile watching during the European Open, see what happens, see if we find some structure here. We may even come all the way down here to 23,480. Also possible that we drop to 23,300. Very possible, bottom of range. And what we're looking for is structure and then an opportunity to get long. And you can find that on the 5 minute as well. Okay, you can see right now on the 5 minute, we've broken through a fairly strong level on the 5 minute. 1, 2, 3, 4 touches there. We've tested it twice. Okay, so that's the kind of structure I'm looking for. One of the concerns I've got here is 5 minute gaps. There's one right there. There's a small one up there. I see another one. There was one here that's closed already. Okay. So that's kind of my view. I just want to review quickly yesterday's scenario. There you can see how we broke the 150 EMA, found support, a little bit of structure here. If you're trading a 5 minute chart, there's your structure. So where's the trade? On this bar here, break of structure, stop below it. Why? Because we are above the 150, trend is now up, and the moving averages are pointing up. Okay, forget your oscillators for now. This was your entry on pure oscillator. There was a low off a level. You're looking for a second attempt at it. There's your second attempt, and there's your inside bar plus a pin bar. Okay, and there's your confirmation bar. Okay, so that's it. That was a pretty good trade to the upside, and actually would have been a 2-to-1 trade as well. So it would have been 90 points for pretty much onto the level 180 points. So 2-to-1 exact. Then at the open, we sold off. Okay, so we sold off, came down, tested the break. What break are we testing? That structure there. You see we broke through that structure. Look there. Back to test it once. Back to test it twice. Inside bar off a level. Short it is. Stop up here. And then it got a bit choppy. Why was it choppy? Because we are above the 150, and you can see how we formed a triangle, pretty much a flat bottom triangle on the 150 before falling off. A bit more structure here. Okay, sideways, sideways. Where's the entry on the structure? On the break. There's the break. There's the retest. Two bars that retested that structure, and down it went. Okay, so it is possible to be doing this on the 5 minute if you are watching and paying attention to the rules. Okay, so for me, let's get rid of all this noise. What I'm looking for is going to be watching this area here. It has some significance to me at the moment. So I'd want to see a pullback onto this and then a move back up to the upside. Now it only goes as high as there, which would probably be a Fibonacci. Not quite. There's a 61.8 up there. That would be just over the 50%. So this area of 23,976 and 24,043, or basically just rounded off to 2,400. So the area of 2,400 is the area that you need to pay attention to if this thing retraces back up to there. Okay. Now, apart from that, I'm a little bit reluctant to assume that we are going to fall below this area here. We may come back to test these lows here, but I'm a bit reluctant to assume that we're going to fall through this. It doesn't make sense to me. This is confusion, and the confusion is we're not sure where we're going, so we're ranging, and this is the range. Break to the downside is going to need a pretty big catalyst for that to happen. Okay, it's not saying it's impossible, it's very much possible, but if you just look at what's happened for 4 weeks now, pretty much 5 weeks actually, we've got into an area where the investors are feeling that we can't go much higher, but we can't go lower, and this is kind of where we're going to stay. And I think that's what's basically transpiring right now. Okay, we've also now just closed the 4-hour bar, which is an inside bar off a level. So that's a fairly bullish signal, that. Okay, so anyway, guys, that's it for me today. Pay attention to those levels. Pay attention to the open. Don't read into anything right now this time in the morning. Let it find its feet, find a base for you, and then that should give you an opportunity to trade this back to the upside of the range. If we do break below, and there's so many levels here, so you've got to be very careful here. But ultimately, it's going to need to break below 22,924. So 2,300 is kind of the area that you need to start getting worried about a move to the downside. Okay, so I think this downside move at the moment is more than likely going to not fizzle out, but it either go sideways, find some structure here, and then break down, or sideways and move to the upside. So pretty nice setup brewing if you're patient enough for it. And if we just delete all the noise, so you know exactly what I'm talking about, break below there, or a break and a hold above there. So 23,650 to the upside and 23,471 to the downside. Just remember, the moves to the downside is going to be capped by every single one of these fractals. Okay, so it's still significant trades, but it's going to be a bit of a whipsaw. So if you are chasing shorts, you're looking for moves to the upside, find some structure, then get in for the short to attack the next level. Take your profit, wait for it to pull up, back to the next level. Take your profit, wait for it to pull up, back to the next level. Because that's the kind of price action you can expect. Okay, and then ultimately we're going to need to see a break and retest of 22 924 for me to actually believe anything at the moment. One thing that you do need to bear in mind is this trend line. It does look like it's been tested now, so that could be an area to pay attention to as well. Okay, but anyway, guys, that's it for me today. Hope it helps you somewhat, and we'll catch you later. Cheers for now.